Doesn't the
100 times more.
doesn't the science say that if someone
Black folk had up 100 times more before social integration hit? We had communities all over America. I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We had our own businesses there. We had over 500 buses.
Wow.
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We also had our own cab companies. We had our own restaurants. We had our own hotels. We had our own school systems. What killed our buses? Social integration. When all of a sudden, you all started talking about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King going down to Alabama, want to integrate the bus lines. They didn't want to own and control and get the resource. They just want to sit on the front of it. Now, if the bus is moving, then the back of the bus will be where the front of the bus will move in a fraction of a second. And everybody gets off at the same time. When that movement was successful in Alabama, came up to Winston-Salem, blacks in Winston-Salem says, we want to ride on front of some white buses. Said, we don't have any white buses. They said, well, get some so we can ride on the front of them.
Like that whole time they did the boycott, they should have been trying to establish their own bus company as opposed to wanting to ride. I never thought about that. Y'all boycotted for a year just to want to ride on the front?
See, you're a smart man.
I never thought.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations, brothers, doing this thing in sincerity, in truth, and with charity. Man, gonna hop right into it. You know, Lord willing, this will be titled along the lines of integration destroyed, the so-called black community. All right, integration made the black community worse. Something like that. Integration fucked us up, all right? Granted, we're here in the land of our captivity, but Jake, like you said, it's plain. Jake was better off when Jake was dealing with Jake. And that's the way things should be naturally. All right? It's one thing to be cordial and, do business with somebody else. But Jake was set on being accepted and taken in by the white man. When the so-called white man, 'cause he's not white, he's red. He's the Edomites according to the Bible. Malachi 1:4 refers to the same set Edomites as the wicked. Same second Thessalonians, the second chapter. But Jake was so set on being one with our fucking enemies. And look what has landed us, man. What did you expect? Look, let's keep it plain. This is... Oh, shit. Did I turn the mic on? Okay. To make sure. This is Jeremiah 17:4. And thou even thyself should discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So the hands to whom we were sold to, the nations we were given over to, are our enemies. But Jake wanted to seek after them, learn their ways, to be lovers with them, man. And it shouldn't be so. And all Edom did was use it to his advantage to make sure we stayed under him. All right, to make sure we stayed under him. So guess what? Edom was they eventually said, you know what, let's allow this integration. All right? But made sure that the system was built so we can be at the bottom. They taught us their ways, their philosophies, which fucked us over. Gave us they taught us what was morally correct to them, which is all wickedness. And look where we're at now. Our women are whores. Our fucking men are weak. All right? Degenerates. And degenerates and sodomites. Look at black culture. What's promoted in black culture? Death, murder, jealousy, whoredoms, and sodomy. That's black culture, man. That's what you're proud about. Death and whoredoms. That's black culture. And that's because Jake wanted to follow after our fucking enemies, man. Never trust thy enemy. This is Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. You can't just take a piece of rusty metal, wipe it, spray some Windex on, wipe it with a rag, and think that rust is gone. No, that rust is going to keep rusting over. You know, in due time, you're going to see more rust. Same thing with Edom. They hate us. See how they let you so-called integrate, but meanwhile, they keep us in red line areas, food deserts. All right, underfunded schools. Whenever they saw Jake prospering, they had shut that shit down. Oh wait, Jake is learning trades in high school. Take those trades out of school. They getting rich in these factories. Let's change that up. Even in jail, you used to be able to get degrees and shit in jail. A lot of jails don't even have that no more, man. They want you niggas coming out smarter. And that's you in the lowest state you could be, and you in the fucking tombs, man. They not for us, man. Set him not by thee, lest we have to overthrow thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou with the last word of my words, and be pricked therewith. So Edom whole mission, no matter what, is to keep us under them. Point blank, period. You know, the civil rights movement, hey, Edom was behind that. NAACP, Edom was behind that. I believe only 10 of the 60, like first founders or whatever, were so-called Negroes, man, of the NAACP. They were funded by, they was funded by the small hats, man. All right? And that was to get Jake to go ahead and follow after Edom, so you can be subject to him. So you don't have that mentality to be independent and then seek to be loose from them, man. No, because Edom wants to rule over us, man, as if the Lord was there, as if he's the Lord. He ain't want us on our own, policing ourselves, governing ourselves, because then what's next? In their mind, well, they're going to seek to be loosed. You people fucking eat it up, man. Damn shame. You know what? I'll read this. How black fraternities are actually harmful to black culture in the U.S. Now, I was looking at this, just researching after I saw that video, and was looking into the Boule and the NAACP. So let's check this out, right? Now, more than a century old, black Greek letter organizations, fraternities, have more than 800,000 members. But are such organizations an asset, or do they work against what they put African American culture, which we're not two continents, man. We are the Israelites. Ali Chambers argues that rather than unifying the black community against the effects of racial prejudice, they have merely become a vehicle for blacks to assimilate into white culture, so-called white, and society, and the means to create a self-perpetuating black oligarchy. That last little sentence is heavy, man. And that's what Esau did not want. They did not want us to unite, man. They had to keep us divided. Not only that, they had to make sure that our people followed after their ways. They know what happens when we come together, and all it takes is for our leaders to tell us, serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We would have been out of here. They couldn't have that. They had to make sure that Psalms 83 took place, man. They caused the name of Israel to no longer be remembered. They had to make sure we know who we are. All right? They couldn't have us uniting and then our true leaders rising up amongst the whole multitude like that. No, they couldn't have that. You know, Esau knows where his power lies, man. How he's able to rule over us. This Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. They couldn't let us get back to our power. He shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times or laws. They had to teach us things contrary to our way of living, the way we're supposed to be, our actual culture, not black culture, our actual heritage. When you read Deuteronomy, I believe it's the 32nd chapter, it tells you this book is a heritage for Israel, man. This is our life. This is our culture. And they should be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of time. So he was given over into Esau's hands for a period of time. But now the Lord is waking his servants up, man. And Esau couldn't make it easy for us. He couldn't just have us all united in our own communities. Then the prophets wake up, and then the people hear that. No, he couldn't have that, man. They knew that they would lose power, just like they sent after Yahweh Shai when he was born, man, to kill it. They killed the sons of Israel, man. Hey, the devils believe and tremble. They know this book is real. You know? They know. And they made sure they got set up puppets of in our people, all right, to make sure that we followed after the Edomite ways. The Wadi Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, thank you to Yahweh, which is the name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham is in the name. Yahweh Shai is the name of the only begotten Son. Thank you to them for giving us this truth, man. This is Jeremiah 50:6. My people have, oh man, Jeremiah 50:4. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. So both kingdoms becoming one again. Not just Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans as well, man, because they're Israelites too. They shall go and seek the Lord their power. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that should not be forgotten. So now we return to our Heavenly Father. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds, the so-called leaders, and all the leaders of our people have been puppets. They've been set up and funded and guided and used by our enemies, Edom. My people have been lost sheep. Martin Luther King, all right, Rosa Parks. The whole Rosa Parks shit, they say that kicked off the civil rights movement. The whole Rosa Parks shit is crazy because it was a reenactment. That was a woman, a young lady who was dark-skinned, who was the one that actually was on the back of that bus. No, Slack was on the front, was sitting in the seat. You know, my bad, sitting in that seat when that Edomite got on there and required that seat. And she refused to get up. I believe she was pregnant. She was a pregnant, dark-skinned, young black woman, man. And they said, no, it'd be better if we use a fairer, light-skinned person to do it. Because who were they trying to convince? The hearts of other Edomites. So they used the lighter person. They were trying to get the regular Edomites to allowed this next step that needed to happen to make sure niggas will stay in subjection to Edomites, man. So they had to give us a sense of acceptance. Meanwhile, everything is still designed against us. It's nothing new. They doing it to this day. Biden say what? If you don't vote for me, you're not black. You're a pawn. Okay? But it says their shepherds have caused them to go astray. So the so-called leaders have led us astray. We had our own, like that man that sent an interview, and instead of keeping our own, Jake wanted to follow after the fucking heathens. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountains to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Part of getting us to forget who we are as Israelites, keep us down. They used our own people, man. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, "We offend not." Our enemies, Edom say, "We offend not," because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Edom like, look, even though Edom set the whole shit up, it's like, well, we didn't do anything wrong. They're sinning. They're being wicked. They're falling after the wrong things. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. It's not. How can you blame us if they're being wicked? Meanwhile, they set the whole shit up. Right? Esau and these heathens know that in order for them to rule over us, they got to keep us away from our power. That's in the book of Judith, all right, and the Apocrypha, which the Apocrypha was removed from the Bible. They know this. What? Oh, man. Oh, maybe that's what happened the first time. This Zechariah 11:5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Edom was like, look, this is judgment. They're sinning. They're being wicked. We have to rule over them like this, right? And they that sell them say, so our people, the sellouts, man, the integrators to this bullshit, they say what? Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. Our own so-called leaders, man. All right, as this put it, the black oligarchy. In fact, I'll grab this. Oligarchy is a form of power structure in which power rests with a small number of people. These niggas are okay with it because they have a position of authority. All right? So they don't give a fuck about the rest of us. They getting money and they got authority. That's all they care about. All right? Same thing in Rome. That was part of the reason why they didn't want Yahweh Shai. You know, that's part of the reason why they killed him. Okay? That's why they killed him. They didn't want to lose their authority. They were envious because he was a true leader. He was going to lead us properly, and they didn't want to lose the authority that was given to them. How's it worded? Dang it. I think it's in the book of John. This I hate this fucking flesh. Somebody just watching it will post a precept. One of the brothers will definitely post it. I'm confident in that. I'm confident in that. I really hate this flesh. But yeah, they don't want to lose the authority given to them by Rome. It's in the gospel. It says it. I wish I remember a word in it. But it says in the past 5 years, there's been a resurgence of research surrounding the philosophy and mission of the Black Greek Letter Organization. And I believe the Boule, they say, is the oldest black fraternity, right? While my work suggests that the rites of passage of the black fraternity, which include ancestor veneration, rebirthing concepts, and dance performance, can mirror, blah, 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 which that's folly, man. We're not Africans. You know, we fled into Africa, all right, to escape Roman persecution in 70 AD, all right? So a lot of these things that they're practicing in West Africa, although they're Israelites, you know, it's not proper. It's not an actual culture, you know. BGLOs are some of the most influential organizations in the country. Conversely, many of the harsher critics maintain that the activities of organizations that have included secret meetings, selective membership, and a preference for lighter complexions have allowed black elites to create a separate privileged society based on snobbery and arrogance, and have thus enabled these organizations to perpetuate the vicious cycle of racial prejudice and white supremacy. Historian and sociologist W.E.B. Du Bois at times openly condemned black fraternities during 1930 commencement address at Howard University, stated, "Our college man today is on the average a man untouched by real culture. He deliberately surrenders to selfish and even silly ideals, swarming into semi-professional athletics and Greek letter societies. We have in our colleges a growing mass of stupidity and indifference. Consequently, it is the conformity to Western values and social norms that has created a controversy surrounding the initial purpose of BGLO. Between 1906 and 1920, 8 of the most prominent BGLOs were established. Many scholars have questioned whether these organizations were created in the hopes of unifying the black community against the harmful effects of racial prejudice, or whether they were formed by young African American students in order to gain acceptance into American society by emulating existing white organizations of the period. The creation of the black fraternity had a dual purpose. First, these organizations were established for the greater goal of pooling the resources of African Americans in hopes of acquiring an education. Second, these organizations were formed as an attempt by black students to gain acceptance into American society. That is, the campus community, by emulating or creating organizations that mirrored pre-existing white organizations. From as early as the 1700s, blacks in America have believed that there were conditions placed on them to justify equality or citizenship. These included acceptance of Christianity. That's why every nigga's a fucking plantation Christian right now. Participation in the military, which none of these things worked. We did all these things and was still looked at as low-level niggers. Like Kanye said it, even if you're in a Benz, you're still a nigga in the coupe. Okay? Obedience to Republican or Democratic principle and economic development. Taken together, these can be encapsulated as the be like us theory of equality. That blacks will be equal to whites when they became like whites. That's why our people have such a thing of self-hatred. That's why our women relax their hair. All right? Get blonde weaves. That's why people follow after whatever Esau promotes and puts on TV or in the media. Our people eat it up. They follow right along. For hopes that they'll finally be accepted by their white daddy, who's really red, okay? Another approach was an attempt to adjust all thought and action to the will of the greater group, assimilation to white culture and society. A third path was a conscious effort at self-realization and agency. And you can read the rest of this article on your own, man. Said a mouthful. I'm going to get these precepts, though. I wish I could remember that. Dang, here we go. Call on me. How about Shami Yahushai? St. John 11:47. Then gathered. St. John 11:45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary had seen the things which Yahushai did, believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushai had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him, I should have typed in Romans. I just typed in Rome. Huh? If we let him, well, it's all through the Spirit. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So they had authority and position allotted and allowed by the Romans. They didn't want to lose that. Same thing with these so-called black leaders. Or as I put, the black oligarchy, man. These niggas got some status and power, and they believe it to be acceptance from the white man, so-called white, who was really red. They are the Edomites according to the Bible. Because they placed them there. And it's their job to get Jake to follow whatever Esau puts before us, man. Whatever he says. And Jake eats it up, man. Because niggas want to follow the flesh anyway. So they can do with the wickedness they desire, they with it. But can't you see that this devil hates us, man? Why do you continue to follow his ways? Why do you continue to want to be like him? That's madness. This is Lamentations 4. I'm finna run off these precepts. And 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. Clearly, this devil hates us. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. They killing us in our own fucking so-called neighborhoods. We already going through the worst conditions, and then they over-police us, harass us, oppress us, kill us at will, all right? Just mistreat us. And our watching, Slakia, our end is near, our days are fulfilled, our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. They set traps, man. Whole system against us. Yeah, our people love this damn devil. Growing up, they call it the speech. The speech. Even on the episode of Blackish, they talked about it. The speech. Which is a speech you have to have with your so-called, mainly your black sons, so-called black. And how my grandmama told me this, something stuck with me, and then it fucked with me. I was young as hell. She say, you already got 2 strikes. You're black and you a man. Which is basically to go along, get along. Follow this devil, whatever it is. You already got 2 strikes against you. Whatever this devil say, follow him. Be a good coon. All right. But that's a sign already that they hate us. Like, you don't get that? That means they already hate us. So why would you follow their ways? That speech in itself is damn coonery, man. That's that we be like them, they accept us. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, man. This is this Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Plain. Proverbs 24:1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. All right? Hey, we had our own thriving communities. You know? Yeah, it was an uphill battle, but it was a fucking battle, man. Edom would come, do like they did. They'll bomb us, do whatever. But we policed ourselves. You know? We had our own banks. I forget which so-called black community it was. They didn't even have guns in there, which means the violence was at a low. They didn't even allow guns in there. I think maybe just the sheriffs had the guns. All right? But we allow Esau to come with his trickery, his corruption. And Jake just want to be accepted by this devil. That's why the scriptures say, don't be tied to the expense of praise. We ain't got to be accepted by this devil, man. Hell, we're wiser than this devil, man. For their heart study of destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. That's what they all about. And now look where we at. Filled with degeneracy, man. That's all it is out here. As time go on, look at how much more. Something simple, just as disciplining your children. Just 10 years ago, 20 years ago, disciplining your child, hey, niggas will make jokes about it like white parents don't even whip their children. Now, niggas don't even discipline their children anymore. Whatever Esau sets up, eventually niggas follow, man. Y'all envious of these fucking devils because you saw them in power. Hey, look, man, the Lord put us here. Seek the Lord. In due time, this devil is gonna fucking fall. And that's happening now. And you niggas ain't still holding on to this devil. You're gonna fall with him. This Psalms 37:1. Fret not, Psalm of David. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in Yahweh and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. And that's plain. That's plain. It's Jeremiah 4:30. And when thou art spoiled, yeah. And when thou art spoiled, so we've been spoiled, we've been brought low, we've been put in the hands of our enemies in captivity. What wilt thou do? Though thou clothest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rendest thy face with painting, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee. They will seek thy life. So you doting upon, you loving and trying to be one with these heathens, Anything happen, something happened to the Asians. Oh, we gotta look out for the Asian community. Kanye West make a tweet mentioning some Jewish people, which he didn't even say shit yet. Niggas, oh man, we gotta stop this anti-Semitism and this Asian hate. I saw a tweet, this black bitch said we gotta stop this anti-Semitism and Asian hate. Meanwhile, niggas is getting killed every fucking day. All the day. And not just by cops and shit like that. No, this devil has found a way to feed us even poison. Everything about this devil is death. He really is taking us out. That's why we live in food deserts. That's why Planned Parenthoods are in nigger areas. Look up some of Margaret Sanger quotes, man. Yeah, you want to follow this devil? Hey, you won't overtake your lovers, man. Hey, your lover's going to kill you. Esau's going to show his horn soon enough. Ezekiel 16:36, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols, thy abominations, because Jacob been doing this for the longest, wanting to be like the heathens, following their ways, following their idols. To this day, they're doing the same thing. And look how low we are. That's why we're naked, meaning what? Completely bare, shamed. That's why niggas the butt of every joke. Rightfully so. And by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them. And you force those ways on your children. It's spooky season, they call it, right? Well, then they force Halloween on children. Then they say the excuses is for the kids. Man, a goddamn child ain't thinking about Halloween until you teach them that shit. Which is a night of mischief. Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved. It's talking about the different nations, man. With all them that thou hast hated. I would even, because Jake's so weird, man. They hate these devils. They call them the devil. They know that they getting fucked over. Yet they want to follow after him and be accepted by him and be buddy with him, rub elbows with him. Jake is so fucking weird, man. But they really are enemies. They supposed to be hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and I will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. And I will judge thee as women that break wedlock, and shed blood are judged, meaning death. The Lord's going to have you put to death. And I will give thee blood and fury and jealousy, And I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thy eminent place. That's why we low. All right, but it's gonna happen again. These heathens will, there will be a time of Jacob's trouble very soon. Increase in violence on niggas, and it has to happen that way. This devil's gonna show his horns again. They shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes. They shall take away and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare. They shall also bring up a company against thee. They shall stone thee with stones, and thrust thee through with their swords. And they shall burn thy houses with fire, and execute judgments upon thee. And this happened every time, Jake follow after the heathens and learn their ways. The Lord jack us up. That's why we got put in captivity. And in the land of captivity, you still follow after the heathens. So the Lord got to bring more judgment. Isaiah the 1st chapter. Why should you be stricken anymore? You revolt more and more. The salt has lost its savor. What good is it except to be trod underfoot? What's left for you is to be just destroyed. They shall burn thy houses with fire, and execute judgments upon thee in the sight of many women. And I will cause thee to cease from playing the harlot, and thou also shalt give no hire any more. So will I make my fury toward thee to rest, and my jealousy shall depart from thee, and I will be quiet and will be no more angry. Because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but hast fretted me in all these things. Behold, therefore I will also recompense thy way upon thy head, saith the Lord Yahweh, and thou shalt not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations. So judgment is coming. You ain't caught on yet. You're still seeking after your lovers. Your lovers is going to show their horns again. All right? The devil is finna, like it says Revelation 12, and the devil's talking about Edom in that verse. It's finna come down in that great wrath. Even though his time is up, he ain't going out without a fight. The Israelites are waking up. The prophets out here. So you was worried about the Romans taking away your place, in your position, because our leader Yahweh Shah stood up. But guess what? Our leader is standing up again within his servants, the prophets, man. All right, his word is coming out. Edom is getting pissed off. They know their time is up. And they ain't gonna better touch the elect. But you niggas gonna feel it, man. All praise, honor, glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles, Elder Great Millstone. And Southeast brothers doing this thing in sincerity, in truth, and with charity. Shalom wa ba ba ba.